Hello. My name is Callista, and welcome back to Danganronpa 2. Goodbye, Despair. In the last episode, we got quite a few lore drops, I should say. Mikan has a beloved who, it has to be Junko. They're not saying it's Junko, but they're being so vague they can only be Junko. And Mikan is about to give us a clue about the World Ender organization. First things first though, I do hope you all had wonderful days yesterday. I hope you ate and drank and were merry, if that's what you're into. I hope you got to spend the day with your friends or family. If you were just having a regular day, then I hope it was a lovely regular day. I do not know how my Christmas was because I am filming this on the Wednesday beforehand, so it's going to be a little while for me before I know how my Christmas went, but I presume I had a lovely time. I'm spending it with my family and, like I said, eating and drinking and being merry because that's what I like to do on Christmas. I hope you all had lovely days yesterday. Now, let's get into this.
It's about that World Ender organization that you all were worrying about.
You serious?
You know?
No, I just remembered, that's all. I knew about it all along, how that horrifying organization known as World Ender.
Oh. Well, that throws me for a loop. Oh, I should sit close to my mic. I'm sorry. I leaned back in my chair when I saw that.
Is also the organization known as the Future Foundation.
Future Foundation? Future? That's right. That symbol on the ancient ruins door. That's right. It was the Japanese word for future.
Hey.
Just what is the Future Foundation? What are they planning?
As the name suggests...
my brain just did a dump. I'm sorry.
As the name suggests, that organization is the World Ender. The Future Foundation is trying to end our world.
Who is our? Because depending on who our is, that sentence can read a couple of different ways.
To put it simply, they're trying to claim the world for themselves.
This is bad.
What the heck? This isn't a comic book, you know.
As part of their plan to end the world, the Future Foundation brought us to this island. Isn't that right, Monami?
I will accept that.
You...
I knew it! Monami Monokuma. They're both members of that crazy organization, aren't they? Monami and I aren't members.
I am Monokuma!
I am Monokuma! My existence is entirely my own! I will accept that. Oh no, she started copying him!
Hey.
Don't laugh. Hey, Mikan, if you really do remember, then you already know, right? You know the true identity of the traitor hiding among us.
Of course I know that. Let's see. The Future Foundation's lackey that's hiding among you all is... Oh, well, no one really cares about that, don't you think?
Of course not!
Oh, hell no!
You'll find out eventually. so there's no need to be so impatient. Probably when that countdown ends.
Countdown? You even know about that?
Oh? I don't know anything.
Huh?
I have a feeling that's what it is, but who cares about that, you know? I'm drowning in so much love. From the bottom of my heart, I just don't care about anyone or anything.
That is...
Mikan, is this really you? I won't believe it. There's no way I can believe you were like this all along. Because if that's true, then who's the person we've been spending time with up until now?
The past.
Past?
That person, she didn't exist in the beginning. She's just my past self who lost her school memories. You guys considered that thing a friend.
Oh?
That doesn't make me happy at all. It just fills me with despair. You guys accepted my past self, but not my present self.
That's...
Well...
Well, that applies to you all as well. Memories of people, memories of events. Whatever memory it is, losing memories are
Do you understand?
like losing your personal identity. Memory is the most important component in building a person, don't you think? Losing our memories makes us shadows of the past. Don't you think?
Hey,
I don't know what you're trying to say, but... in the end, it always leads back to that story. That story about our stolen school lives.
hey!
So, it was true all along? Our memories were taken away?
Damn it!
If it wasn't true, we wouldn't be suffering this much.
Well, why don't you just take your sweet time and remember at your own pace?
Oh?
Oh, Monokuma! Is it alright for you to start now?
Yes, indeed.
Punishment time? Damn it, why? Mikan, why does it have to end like this? This is too pointless. This is too much.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
Now then, I have prepared a very special punishment for the ultimate nurse, Mikan Sumiki.
So it's over. It's really... Now I can go to my beloved, who always forgives me. I can finally see them. Please forgive me, the one who's going to die with the hope of finally seeing you.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Game over. Mikan has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. Is it bad that my first thought was that was oddly disappointing? When it comes to the executions, I very rarely... I'm more so entertained by them than anything. Even the really graphic ones, like Leon being beaten to death by a billion baseball blows, like, it was graphic. And I was like, oh, that's a really violent way to go. But I wasn't like, oh my god, that was so violent. Like, I wasn't scandalized by anything. I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. I don't really have those kind of like, oh my god, they must be in so much pain. But like, I don't really have that emotional response. I'm pretty desensitized to violence. So it's, when I watch the executions, I'm also going into them like, will I be entertained? And I think I've been entertained by every single execution, but not that one. That one was... That one, it was very sexual. I thought it was very sexual, at least. I think that the undercurrent that you could say is that, like, oh, she was given an overdose and her on the arm blasting off into the heavens, that was like her brain getting high before it expired. Or you could take it literally that she was blasted off into space on a giant arm. While the face she was making while she was on that arm, she looked real excited about that, and the close-up on her arse and panties, just for one last shot of fan service there. That was very disappointing to me. I was not fond of that. One, I found it boring. Two, I was just like, eh. It was boring and it wasn't even interesting. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. These are my opinions. Take them or leave them. But that, in my opinion, that was the weakest execution I've seen over the course of the two games. Although I will say, if you take the approach of it was a metaphor, she died by lethal injection, and that was a metaphorical execution sequence, it's interesting that the person who returned to despair gets the most peaceful death. Like she's being rewarded, like everyone else has to go out full of suffering and in agony, but you, because you've remembered, because you are an agent of despair, you get a pretty happy outcome. Like, you get to be high and drift away. Like, it's finished. Is it really finished? The killer who killed Ibuki Miyoda and Hiyoko Sayonji was Mikan Sumiki. And she's been executed. She apparently committed her crime because she was afflicted by the despair disease. So what? What's finished? Nobody wanted it to end this way.
Let me ask.
Who was that Mikan from earlier? Was that her true form? Or is that itself a symptom of the despair disease?
Damn it.
It doesn't matter either way. If she ended up like that from just remembering, then all along, Mikan was never worth being a symbol of hope.
But...
even if her words were influenced by the despair disease, if the disease turned her into that, if she lost herself to a simple disease, she was definitely unworthy of being a symbol of hope.
isn't that right?
So let's just move on. Come on, let's take all this despair and change it into hope.
Please wait!
That is impossible. I mean, I thought we were friends this whole time, but even so.
Like a house of cards collapsing in an instant. In the end, our friend we thought we knew ended up showing us a completely different side of herself. Then she vanished from our sight, leaving behind only her malice towards us. And now, there's no way we can just move on or try to have a clear-cut attitude about these feelings. That's clearly impossible.
Damn it!
It would have been so much easier if she was the traitor too.
Wrong.
Too bad! That's not the case. Mikan was not the traitor.
Come on.
The traitor is still alive. As proof, see how fine Monami looks right now.
I'm not fine at all.
But if the traitor died, you wouldn't be this calm, right? I mean, you're both pawns of the Future Foundation, so you guys are like two hearts beating as one, right?
You fiend.
What does that make you, fiend? You did say that you're different than Monami.
Phew.
Who cares about who I am? More important, I'm tired. The drama just kept going and going. I didn't even have time to eat my black bean right eye during the break.
Hey!
Your right eye is made out of black beans?
Hey!
Wait, now's not the time to focus on that. What are you trying to say?
Hey,
You know, isn't it said that life has its ups and downs? It's fun because downs come after ups. But if life was full of downs, wouldn't it get boring? So, in order to help you guys feel better, I've prepared a special event. Special event? Head over to the First Islands beach. An old friend will be waiting there. Old friend?
Huh?
Could it be Nekomaru?
Hey!
Is it? Isn't it? Nekomaru was safe after all. Safe. How should I say this? I knew it. I knew that crazy bastard Nekomaru would come back to us in one piece. Awesome! We're starting to see the light of hope. The light of hope? I am happy Nekomaru is returning to us, but I...
So just as I thought.
3 of our friends just died, so I honestly cannot be happy. Miss Sonia!
However...
Even so, I am still happy. If Nekomaru is safe, I am truly happy.
Fine.
If you are happy, you should honestly greet him with open arms. Perhaps those who have been taken from us would do the same if they still lived. Hey, Supreme Overlord of Who Gives a Shit. That line doesn't suit you at all.
Silence.
Silence! I shall crush you into dust.
Ibuki, Hiyoko, Mikan, can you hear us? If you are unhappy, I apologize. However, please forgive me for right now. I want to warmly welcome Nekomaru when he returns to us. You don't have to worry, Sonia. I'm sure your feelings are reaching them.
Right?
Then let's all go greet Nekomaru. Let's make it grand, even for those who have died.
Huh? What the heck? Do I still have the after effects of that disease? I don't get this at all. Akane?
All right!
Alrighty then, let's go!
Yeah, you're right.
Nekomaru's coming back.
When we heard that, we were unable to contain our excitement as we jumped into the elevator.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what you've done, dude. He's gonna be back, but I don't know. He's not just gonna be the same. He took a bazooka to the nutsack. Like, he can't be the same after that. Like, man, they just ran off without listening to what I had to say.
Unbelievable.
Jeez, they're so impatient. Didn't they learn to stick around until others have finished talking? What does that mean?
Hey!
You're plotting something again, aren't you?
No way!
Hoo. I'm not plotting anything. I was just trying to properly explain everything to them. Including Nekomaru's body.
Huh? Nekomaru's body?
Pooh. It's their fault for not sticking around until I finished talking. So if something happens because of that, I bear no responsibility.
What did you do to Nekomaru?
What's this?
What did I do? I just saved him, that's all. I mean, if I didn't do that, there's no way I could have saved someone who was that close to death. So it just couldn't be helped. Pooh. As soon as we exited the elevator, we started running. Hurry! To the beach on the first island!
All right!
Alright, let's haul ass! Even though our minds were completely exhausted, strangely enough, our bodies felt light. Without stopping for anything, we kept right on running toward the beach on the first island. And now we're going to move on to a little bit of post-commentary. So I decided to cut the episode off there rather than playing ahead. I figured that there was going to be something quite major with Nekomaru, and I didn't really want to... I kind of wanted to keep my thoughts on what's going on with him and my thoughts on this chapter separately. And also, there's only like 8 minutes of this episode left. I figure it was better to have my thoughts now rather than in the next episode and it potentially take up the entire episode. We're moving on to post-commentary because I did not put my thoughts across at all well. It was a bit of a mess. So I've had a wee bit of time to think things over and think about what I'm going to say. So what are my thoughts on that chapter? I really liked it. I liked the motive, I liked the tension it created and the build up to the murder. I liked the crime. It was very simple yet clever, and I think that really suited Mikan, in my opinion. Really, the only negative, I have to say, the only dark stain on this chapter for me was the sexual harassment directed towards Hajime and the fact that it was treated as a joke. I do take that very seriously, perhaps a little bit too seriously. I know I've received comments saying that I'm treating the girls unfairly, that I didn't seem bothered by Teru's sexual harassment, which is not the case. I was very bothered by it. However, I didn't need to go off on Teru because the game did it for me. If you compare Teru's harassment and Mikan's harassment, it really is like night and day. And that is a massive issue to me, that they didn't take Mikan's harassment seriously because of her gender. That really, it pisses me off, to be perfectly frank. There's kind of something I want to add to this, but I don't really know if I should. It's the day after Christmas. I'm recording this on Christmas. And here's the thing. People generally get bummed out when I talk about this incident from my past. I'm gonna preface this by saying that I am all good. I don't need sympathy. I don't need apologies or pity. I am all good. I am in a very good place mentally in regards to my past. Like, you don't need to get upset about this. You don't need to get sad, please. So I'm a childhood sexual abuse survivor. I don't really talk about it much. Again, not because I'm angry or upset. You know, in regards to my past, I have reached a place of peace. I've reached a place of acceptance. For a long time, I was very angry and very sad and ashamed. But to put it very bluntly, bad things happen and we can't change the past. And that anger, all it does is hurt. All it does is hurt. And what ifs and, oh, if this had been different, that's only going to cause you pain. That really is only going to cause you pain, and you just have to learn to move forwards. The reason I don't like to talk about it is because people inevitably ask about my abuser. And as soon as I describe them, people either become very dismissive or they become so confused that they start asking some very invasive questions. You see, I was subjected to child-on-child sexual abuse. They were the same age as me, so 6 at the beginning, 8 when it finished, and they were the same gender as me. They were a little girl. If I showed you a picture of a 7-year-old girl and asked, do you think this person is the victim of sexual abuse or the perpetrator of sexual abuse, most people are going to say, oh, well, they're the victim because they can't comprehend a little girl doing something like that. And it's understandable. I understand why people would think like that, but it's not true. Unfortunately, it's not true. There is this stigma that says rape or sexual assault must include a penis or penetration, and that idea is so painfully naive to me. So seeing how differently the devs treated Teru and Mikan, it was annoying. It was a little bit upsetting, if I'm being honest. You know, that Mikan sexually harassing Hajime was deemed as something funny, and it's not funny. It really is not funny, the idea of like, oh, a woman harassing a guy, gal, non-binary person. And that's the other thing. It's not something that the person should feel grateful for. Oh, like a hot babe came onto you without your consent? You should feel so lucky. No, he fucking shouldn't. He has every right to feel upset, violated. Like, it's not a joke. If you can understand that a guy doing that to a girl isn't a joke, then you should be more than capable of understanding that it going the opposite way isn't a joke. And it should have been treated just as seriously. It should have been treated with the exact same amount of seriousness as Teru's sexual harassment was. And it's very frustrating. I want to swear. It wasn't frustrating, it was so much worse than that. Let's move on. My thoughts on the characters who died. I'm actually quite sad to see Mikan and Hiyoko go. And you might be thinking, but Callista, what you just said, I'm not even angry at the character. I'm not even angry at Mikan for doing it. I'm angry at the devs for their response. That's who I'm angry at. In my opinion, Mikan and Hiyoko were actually some of the more interesting characters. They were both very flawed. I'd argue that neither of them were good people, but they were interesting. They were really interesting. Ibuki seemed nice, but I didn't necessarily find her interesting. I kind of feel that way about most of the remaining characters. I don't particularly like Kazuichi because he's
he's bordering on the, like, he's dipping a toe into being kind of stalkery, and I'm like, sir, you need to be careful there. I'm watching you, sir. Nekomaru, Nagito, and Fuyuhiko, I'm all kind of neutral on. Nekomaru is kind of dipping between dislike and neutral, simply because I haven't seen him for a while. And all of the other characters I like, but I wouldn't call them interesting. I'd call them nice. But nice characters aren't exactly interesting. To be brutally honest, I'm kind of stumped for who I'm gonna see next the next time we get free time events. Because none of the other characters really called to me all that much. Maybe Fuyuhiko, I don't know. Let's see, what else? I did mention this during the trial. I used to do something similar to Mikan when I was in high school. I used to act a lot dumber than I actually was. With Mikan acting weaker, I think it was a way for her to feel in control. She felt so powerless normally, but by pretending to be weak, it gave her a lot of power because everyone underestimated her. It meant that she'd be able to manipulate people easier and get away with stuff. For me, the reason why I pretended to be stupid was because most of my teachers thought that I was retarded, and I simply didn't see any point in trying to prove them wrong. In my first year of high school, so I would have been around 12, I think. I was diagnosed with a learning disorder. I was diagnosed with dyspraxia. Actually, Diana, in the comments, guess what I had? I should just say I'm not offended by that. I am a pretty open book in terms of my struggles and my history. Actually, let me reword that. As long as you're not being a narc about it, I'm an open book. Anyway, so I was diagnosed with dyspraxia, which at the time, it was kind of viewed like autism, in that everyone thought it was a boys-only disorder. Now, obviously we know now there are plenty of young women with autism. There are plenty of young women with dyspraxia, but at the time that really wasn't thought to be the case, so the school basically just left me be. I wasn't offered any kind of help. They just expected me to get on with it. And whenever I did badly on a test or exam, their response was, oh, well, of course you'd do bad. You're a retard. What do you expect? And if I do good, then they'd say, oh, well, the exam must have been so much easier than we thought it was. That's the only way someone like you'd be able to pass. And I just figured, what's the point in trying? Like, why should I try to do well if I'm going to be told that I'm stupid either way? So after that, I just purposely do bad on tests. As I said, like recognizes like. I did recognize some of the tactics Mikan was using early on. That's why I had her pegged as quite a tricksy character from basically the first chapter. And now onto the theories. Mikan dropped some fantastic clues there. We got an actual name for the Mirai group. They're the Future Foundation. Now, Mikan said that they're trying to destroy our world. If Mikan is a part of Junko's group, whoever that is, because I thought it was World Ender, but maybe not, and Junko's group has effectively taken over the world, then the Future Foundation wanting to destroy our world would actually mean they want to restore order. They want to destroy Junko's world. They want to restore hope. I think that's what's going on there. The other thing I wanted to say is, if everyone is a part of Junko's group, I think I said before that I thought perhaps this whole group was a part of Junko's organization. They're all the traitors, basically. I think they're in the Future Foundation's rehab sim so that the Future Foundation can prove to the world that they are capable of restoring hope. You know, all that gubbins. If Mikan remembered, why didn't she say anything? Why didn't she try to trigger anyone else's memories? Because that's what I would have done. If I was in her place, that's the first thing I would have done. Now that question, if you follow it to its natural conclusion, I think it answers some rather major questions. So Mikan went out of her way to be vague.
which implies she knows something. She knows to be vague. She knows not to trigger anyone's memories. She also highlighted the countdown. I said before that I thought the people who could have infected the simulation with the Monokuma virus were the students themselves, because they were pretty much the only people who would be able to gain access to do that. So Mikan is aware of that plan, but what is the plan? I also mentioned the possibility of there being a Junko AI out there. We know that Junko had access to Alter Ego, and if anyone could hijack Chihiro's code to make their own AI, it would be Junko. The girl was a fucking genius, for crying out loud. I wasn't sure before, but after that scene, I think that somewhere within the simulation is the Junko AI, but I don't think it's ready yet. Maybe it's compiling I don't know AI. I don't know technical shit, so I think it's doing something to itself, and once the countdown reaches 0, that's when the AI will be ready, and that's why Mikan didn't say anything. She knew that if she restored everyone's memories, things would start happening before the Junko AI was ready. And, you know, of course she wouldn't want that, because basically that's all that remains of her beloved. I think this is all a plot to bring Junko back in AI form. I think the group entered the rehab sim to get their leader back. How they plan on extracting her from the simulation, I'm not sure. I have a couple of guesses because, let's be honest, there are plenty of films that involve AIs wanting to enter reality. Maybe the group has a robot body waiting for Junko in the real world. Maybe one of the students was planning on allowing Junko to take over their body. Maybe they were going to upload it to the internet. I don't know, but there are a few ways that AI could be released. But that's what I think this is all building to. I think that's the end goal here. Now, my next big question is, was Mikan telling the truth? Are World Ender and the future organization one and the same? Because I can't tell if Mikan was being honest. I can't tell if she was lying and trying to put the cat amongst the pigeons, you know, make the students distrust Usami even more, or if she was being honest. I think that's moved up to the top of my theory board. I think that was a good clue. That was a good hint, a good lore drop. I really liked that chapter. Okay, and I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say, I think. In the next episode, we go see Nekomaru. Maybe. We get to see what kind of state he's in. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.